here's a word processor. Let's see what this does. All right, spell checker, expandable dictionary, on-screen menus, complete editing features, cut and paste, word wrap, margin, tabs, headers, footers, auto search, 3.5 and 5 1/4 discs, and it's $7.99. Now, why would anybody spend $300 to $400 buying WordPerfect? There must be a reason. Indeed, there is. Hundreds of features which very few people ever get to use. So for all you WordPerfect users out there today, we will show you some of the little-known, little-used secrets of WordPerfect on this edition of the Computer Chronicles.
Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by the Software Publishers Association, providers of educational materials to help manage software. Don't copy that floppy.
Welcome to the Computer Chronicles. I'm Stuart Chaffee, and with me today is Janelle Miller of WordPerfect Corporation. Janelle, you have the Macintosh version of WordPerfect up here, and you're going to tell me I can run full-motion videos in a WordPerfect document?
That's right. WordPerfect for the Macintosh is System 7 savvy, so that means you can actually run QuickTime videos in your document.
So what do we have here?
What we have is a court document for an airline crash victim, and this is a settlement document. And they have used QuickTime videos to sort of enhance the effectiveness of the argument. Right here we have a clip of some home videos when Mike was a little boy. We'll move over to a clip of, I believe it's Mike's marriage. I'll double
so Mike
click.
is the victim of the plane crash who died, and they're suing the airline, etc.?
That's right.
Okay.
Right. So we double click on the video and it actually starts running with sound.
Okay.
Okay. And if we move a little bit further on, we can actually bring up some testimony from his sister. Double click there. And
So we can anticipate the kinds of things this witness would say if they didn't settle and you went to trial and
That's
so on.
right.
Okay,
That's
what
right.
else?
Right there. They've included some still shots of Mike's family, his wife and children in the document, just panning in with the video camera right there. One of the most effective things they did, though, is they included some footage from the actual crash site right there, and that is very effective, which you'll see right here.
So this is news footage of the actual plane crash.
That's right.
Well, that's quite a feature of WordPerfect. I must say you are redefining a word processing document. All right, today we are going to look at many other features of WordPerfect which have made it the standard in word processing. In fact, there are more than 11 million WordPerfect users out there today on virtually every operating platform. WordPerfect grew up as a DOS product, of course, but in 1988 the company came out with its first Macintosh version. Now, with all those glitzy-looking Mac word processors on the market, why would anyone want to switch to WordPerfect? Well, we found some answers when we visited one Mac user in Mill Valley, California.
Steve Reiner is dedicated to using the Macintosh in his work as an urban planning consultant. He likes the Mac because it's easy to use and it lets him be creative with the reports he does for his clients. Most of those clients are firmly entrenched in the PC world and are users of WordPerfect. So Reiner started using the Macintosh version of WordPerfect so he could easily import and export documents from his clients. He finds that the combination of WordPerfect and the Macintosh platform allows him to achieve the sophisticated look that's so important with technical reports. A look he says he can only get using the features of WordPerfect for the Mac.
One is to introduce to my clients fonts other than Courier, which is the default font on the LaserJets that they favor, showing proportional fonts, different kinds of spacing, having graphics and other images imported as part of the text so that the text flows around it as opposed to occupying a separate and discrete page.
Reiner prepares detailed reports for engineering and architecture firms and various public agencies. He depends on the Mac's ability to easily import graphics, and he likes the way WordPerfect uses the Mac interface.
One of the things in particular that WordPerfect does, in most dialog boxes, if you press down the Command key, you see displayed a keyboard equivalent for almost every command that you would want to do. So that makes it unnecessary to use the mouse. Other word processing programs don't follow that suggested Mac guideline, and I find it more frustrating to use them on those occasions I have to.
Before converting to WordPerfect, Reiner used to exchange ASCII files with his clients so they could reformat them, or in some cases, they'd have to retype the whole document. Now that WordPerfect is available on both the Mac and the PC, Reiner says even die-hard Mac heads are noticing the advantages of using WordPerfect on the Macintosh.
I think there are so many elegant Mac-like touches to the product that it would bring a smile to the face of a user and saying, aha, now that I see how they do it, I can't think of a better way they could possibly achieve a certain effect or goal.
For the Computer Chronicles, I'm Janelle Stelson.
Some years ago, when everyone was raving about a new application called desktop publishing, Steve Jobs predicted that DTP would have a very short lifespan because word processors would soon become virtual desktop publishing programs. Well, he was right, as we'll see. Here to show us some of the secrets of WordPerfect is Mela Mintzberg, WordPerfect expert and author of the book WordPerfect 5.1 Made Easy, and also Michael Utvich, computer consultant and author of the book WordPerfect for Windows Business Publishing Power. And here are these terrific books. This is Mela's book and Michael's book over here, so we know these guys are experts. Michael, let me begin with you. WordPerfect has become kind of the standard word processor. Certainly it has owned the DOS market forever. Why is it? What are the features that have made it the standard?
Well, WordPerfect is an incredibly feature-rich product and always has been from the beginning. I mean, I remember when it first started out, they were the first to have a complete list of printer drivers and a very easy-to-use access screen. So when you opened up, you had a blank page, in effect. You could just start typing, and there wasn't a lot of computer stuff to confront you. And since that time, I think they've really gone very effectively into a lot of vertical markets, design features to meet people's needs and make things easy. I mean, you can do just about anything with WordPerfect.
All right, Mela, speaking of that, now you're going to show us good old-fashioned 5.1 for DOS. We're not going to get to the Windows fancy version, yes, and I want you to show us some of the neat things that most DOS users really never get to.
One of the things DOS users don't get to are graphics features, and it's a sophisticated program that incorporates a lot of graphics.
All right, show us.
I'd like to take this memorandum and add a couple graphics boxes so that we can enhance the look of this text and really emphasize what we're trying to say. I'm going to create a figure here, and I'm going to use one of the graphics that is included in the WordPerfect program. There's actually 30 of them included there. Here we can take a look at it, a festive one called
This is not
Balloons.
some clip art package. This comes with WordPerfect.
Exactly.
Okay.
There are 30 of them, although of course you could use clip art package images as well. You can move it or size it, etc. Let's get back and move back to the document, and just like that, the box is on your screen. However, you can't see the contents of that graphics box unless you go in and look at the View Document feature. And that's how your document will print out.
Okay.
Let's say you want to change that box. Let's go back up to the top. We're going to again choose the graphics feature, and this time we're going to edit the table. The graphic box. We're going to change the file to another one of the graphics images that WordPerfect includes in there. Let's look at that now. Let's increase this a little bit. This gives us a good sense of what we're trying to say in this document. Market share has really increased. So let's get back. Let's also do one other thing here. Let's change the horizontal position of this document to the left. Get back to the document, move the cursor, and there it is again. If we view it, we'll see it on the screen.
What else could we do?
We could also, instead of putting a picture in a graphic box, we could put text in there, and I'll show you that right now. I'm going to create a text box, and I'm going to change a couple of the default settings here. I'd like this to appear at the top of the page, and I'd like it to appear the full width between the margins. I'm going to go into the edit screen so that I can type. What I'd like to type in there is, let's put it in capital letters, market share soars.
Okay.
Let me do one other quick thing here, which is I'm going to increase the size of this headline into large letters. Go back to the document. Again, you can't see what's in that graphics box until you go ahead and look at it on the screen.
You have hard copy to show me what the difference would be?
I sure do. A big difference, I think, between, in just a couple minutes, showing you the before and the after.
That makes a difference. All right, Michael, Mela has showed us 5.1 for DOS. You're going to show us how to do some neat things on 5.1 for Windows.
Yes, the Windows version is very similar to the DOS version in feature complexity. The one distinguishing factor that really stands out is that you can always see your document the way it's going to print out at every moment on the screen, as we see with this letter with its logo in place. You're always looking at the final version of the document, and that in turn allows you to easily create some templates which are of use to many people in your organization.
All right, so you're going to show us how to make a template using some of these features.
Basically, right here we have, and the easy way to make a template is just save any file you have and delete all the non-essential text, and you have a template right off the bat. The issue, of course, with a template is that you need to protect that template. And I'd like to show you one trick which can prevent people from overwriting information in a template. Right here in the File Manager, tucked away here in the Change Attributes screen, is the Read-Only selection. You may select any file in the File Manager and apply Read-Only to it. And once you do that, no one may be able to save anything new into that file.
Okay.
WordPerfect will prompt you to save it under a new name. So using the Read-Only feature, you can create protected templates. You can also create custom button bars for your templates. Here we can place the button bar very quickly over to the left side if we like. And I can show you quickly here how we can generate a new button bar, and all it really amounts to is select the feature you want. As it shows up, it'll pop right onto the button bar, and then I can save it under a name. And just the features that I need to create this template have now been selected.
And that's a customized button bar that just goes with that template then.
Exactly. And I can save it in its own file. Now, over here, I also can do the same thing with styles. I can save a list of files under a name so that I can have a customized list of styles for a template. And that will allow me to create a custom list of headings and effects that I can put together. What I have done here is to carry this concept one further and to use a macro to load all three of these files together. The custom template, the button bar file, and the style file. When I select the letter macro, which has been placed right on the macro menu, I'm shown it as a read-only document. A custom button bar shows up. Here we are. And when I display the comments, I have a complete set of instructions on how to complete that template.
Right. Now, do you really not need desktop publishing software with all the kind of features you're showing us in WordPerfect?
I think that WordPerfect really has the power to do many, many desktop publishing applications. I think it also has a lot of features like this that support greater automation while you're doing very fancy and attractive layout techniques. And that's where I think the source of its power is.
Okay, Mel and Michael, thank you very much. I mentioned earlier that WordPerfect has versions that run on virtually every platform. So far, we've seen the Mac version, the DOS version, the Windows 5.1 version. In just a minute, we'll look at the newest Windows version. But first, a visit to a law firm where they use WordPerfect for Unix.
We need to have all of the attorneys, all of the secretaries, virtually everybody that's in the firm connected to the system. We've been able to accomplish that through using a network of Unix hosts. They're actually just 386 and 46 computer systems connected together by a LAN, a standard Ethernet LAN.
The law firm of Fleisler, Dubb, Meyer, and Lovejoy needed a Unix-based network, but they also wanted to use the features of WordPerfect. Rather than create a hybrid system using the DOS version of WordPerfect, they bought WordPerfect for Unix so that all the features of both the network and the application would be available to them.
The word processing that we do is community-based in the sense that a lot of the attorneys and a lot of the secretaries have a great demand for sharing files between them on a daily basis, in fact, even on an hourly or moment-by-moment basis.
Using the Unix version of WordPerfect gave them all the advantages of network computing, the sharing of files and resources, without having to pay the price of added training for their employees.
The Unix version of WordPerfect is a very close match to the DOS version, at least on the character-based terminals. There are some slight differences, but they're not really that significant. We've had people from the outside, usually temporary secretaries, able to train up and use the system within a matter of minutes.
Since the firm's lawyers have to import many documents from their clients' computer systems, they found WordPerfect for Unix to be a convenient intermediary platform that could provide a transparent conversion of documents and data created in other formats. Although WordPerfect is best known now as a DOS-based word processor, WordPerfect was originally developed way back in 1979 as a word processor for the multi-user environment. For the Computer Chronicles, I'm Janelle Stelson.
So it's a Windows world these days, according to Microsoft, and WordPerfect has a brand new Windows version of WordPerfect, their newest release, version 5.2. Here to show us the new WordPerfect for Windows is Janelle Miller again of WordPerfect Corporation, and here to show us a rather impressive WordPerfect add-on is Stephen Mann, president of the Software Workshop. All right, you've got WordPerfect 5.2 for Windows up right now. Show me some of the neat new features.
Okay. We've done a lot to enhance your productivity with WordPerfect 5.2. One of the great features that we've added is the Quick Finder, which is actually a file indexer. It lets you index every single word, letter, character in a group of documents. To create an index, I simply click on Create, and I can name my index. I might call this one Presentations. Click on OK, and I can then select a directory that I might want included in this index. If I don't know what my directories are, I can choose Browse, which will bring up a list of all of the directories on my hard drive, which I can go through if I want to. I'll double-click here, choose my Files directory, and then I simply choose Add. That's added to the list of directories to index, and I can include any number of directories here. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and tell the Quick Finder to index, and watch how quickly this is accomplished.
Wow, just indexed 800K of files. Okay.
Just in that period of time. Also, the final index is actually only 4% of the combined size of all the files I just indexed. Now I can use the File Finder. While I'm in WordPerfect, if I need to pull up a specific group of files, maybe a group of files that all have one word in common or something like that, I can go into Find Files. I can type in a word pattern or a file pattern. I want to search all files, so I'm going to leave that right there. I want to search for a specific set of words. I want to search for Fall Comdex, and I want these words to be next to each other in my files. I want to bring up all the files that have those words next to each other. Down here I can specify where to search, a directory, a subtree. I'm going to search the presentations index that I just created. When I choose Find, watch how quickly, again, that's accomplished. It brings up these files. And then if I want to verify that it found the correct files, exactly, I choose View, and there's Fall Comdex right there.
Okay, show me another neat new feature, Janelle.
Okay, with the button bar, we've added what's called the quick menu. We've included 8 new button bars with the product, and we wanted to give you a really nice, quick way to access those button bars. So if you want to bring up a list of button bars, you simply position your cursor on the existing bar, click with the right or secondary mouse button.
And there it is,
There's your quick menu. And to switch from button bar to button bar, you simply click, and each button bar is replaced. There you go. If we look at the macros button bar, you can see a number of the new macros we've included with the product, all designed to enhance your productivity. Barcodes, you can set up barcodes. You can automatically type memos. We've got a glossary feature, etc. Also in the package, we have included such features as the industry's best grammar checker if you come to the Tools menu.
So Grammatic comes bundled now.
Grammatic 5 comes bundled with the product. We're going to be an OLE client, so you're going to actually be able to embed and link to objects in the product. And if you happen to have a mail package, your favorite mail package, you want to use WordPerfect to create mail messages, you can install your mail package, and it's going to actually appear here on the menu. I don't have it installed right now, but it will appear on the menu, and so the product is mail enabled. So that's an example of some of the many things that we've added to the product, and I could go on.
Pretty good. All right, Stephen, I guess no matter how good a new version of a product is, a third-party guy like you can always come along and make it a little bit better. You've come up with a product called the Button Cube. Show us what that does.
Okay, Stuart, the Button Cube is an add-in for WordPerfect for Windows that allows you to put more buttons in the same screen space. Accomplishes that by giving you a cube that can rotate. It can be flat, stretchable, it can be a 2- or 4-sided cube.
Okay, so there I have like 128 buttons available at all times, right?
And there's a choice of over 500 predefined buttons that you can choose from, plus 75 for macros. Now this can be in any size and shape that you want, and it can be dragged around the screen, moved any spot that you wish. It can also be minimized, changed into an icon so you can get it out of the way quickly. And it has a boomerang, which puts it back in its previous spot if you have a favorite position for the cube. Now each button has a specific function defined, and you can see its function as you move the cursor over the buttons
bottom left, we
on the
see
very
what they
bottom
stand
in the
for.
status bar. You can also click the right mouse button over a particular button, and it'll show you that help message there as well. When you want to create a cube and put your own items on it, we select the Configure button. We go to Create. We tell it the number of sides that we want. We'll just leave 5 rows and columns, but that can be any number that you wish.
So you're creating a new 4-sided 5x5 cube.
Right, and here's each side empty, Down here's the master palette. Again, as we pass the cursor over, you see the functions.
They're all the text functions that I could put in as buttons.
These are just text. We have layout, graphics, the system functions like opening and closing files, special characters like bullets, and then of course the macros.
And I saw before you can title actually the side of a cube if I want to put fonts on one side and text on another side.
I can just go here, type in fonts, and I've got a title side of a cube.
Now suppose I'm looking for a particular function and I don't recognize it from those buttons.
Okay, we can search. Let's say we're looking for line spacing. I'll just type in spacing, tell it to go ahead and implement or start the search. It switched sets. Right here it shows me the line spacing key or button. I just move that up there. And that's the way it works with all of these. You drag them, you decide where you want them, you can move them from side to side, switch them around, and get rid of them. We find that most people, when they use this product, are finding that they are switching back and forth from the mouse to the keyboard less often. And a lot of users are finding that they're using functions that they didn't use that often before because they didn't know where they were located.
They're available to you. All right, Stephen, besides existing WordPerfect functions that I might put in buttons, can I create my own, like a macro to save me mouse clicks and so on?
Yes, we have two things there. We've created buttons for all the menu functions, but we've also added additional items. For example, in WordPerfect, if I want to print, I go down to the print function, and then from the dialog I have to tell it what I want to do. We have buttons that are not available from the menus, such as print document, print page, which you can just print directly and not have to go through the dialog. We also have macro buttons. Let's just edit this cube, and I'll show you how we would attach a macro. I'll go over here, go to the macro set. These buttons don't have anything assigned. When I drag them up and drop them onto the cube, it asks me for the name of the macro, and I can browse through, attach a macro. It will ask me for the description that I want, and I've just attached my macro to the cube.
That's a pretty neat little product. How much does that sell for?
It sells for $89.95.
All right, Janelle, one or two questions for you. First of all, on the WordPerfect 5.2 upgrade, how much is that going to cost me?
Full upgrade is $99.
Okay.
There's also a competitive trade-up for $129.
Okay, one other question. We're talking about the Windows WordPerfect here. There are rumors now about a new 6.0 for DOS. Is that true? What's it going to be, and when's it going to happen?
We are working on WordPerfect 6.0 for DOS and Windows. As far as an actual release date, that's not something that I have the information on, but we did go ahead and release the 5.2 now. We were originally just going to wait and release 6.0 because there were a number of features that were ready now that we thought the public could really benefit from. So 5.2 will be out.
There's a 6.0 out there sometimes.
Yes.
All right, thank you both very much. That's our look at WordPerfect. So many features, so little time. Stay tuned now for this week's computer news on Random Access.
In the Random Access file this week, Microsoft has launched MS-DOS 6, the newest version of the PC operating system. DOS 6 comes bundled with many features that you had to buy separately in the past. Included in DOS 6 is an antivirus program, a new memory manager called MemMaker that can free up as much as 100K of extra conventional memory. DOS 6 also includes automatic file compression to increase hard disk storage capacity and a new disk backup program. DOS 6 is available now through the end of May for only $49.95. The price is due to go up to $129 starting in June. WordPerfect has launched WordPerfect 6.0 for DOS. The new version of WordPerfect includes many new features. The tables function now incorporates full spreadsheet capability, including formulas and cell formatting. The new version also comes with built-in fax capability, so you don't need separate fax software. WordPerfect 6 will let you tag sound files to your documents and send documents directly into email. The program also has a new Coach feature, which gives you context-sensitive mini tutorials. Apple is licensing Newton technology to several worldwide firms in an effort to establish an international standard for PDAs. Various Newton technology licenses have gone to Sharp, Motorola, Cirrus, LSI, and Matsushita. A company named Fargo Electronics has announced a new color printer for under $1,000. The Primera color printer uses thermal transfer technology. Fargo says its cost per page is less than an inkjet printer. The Primera color printer supports TrueType fonts. Looking at the best-selling software titles for the past week in the home and personal category, on the PC side, Print Shop Deluxe for Windows tops the chart. For the Macintosh, the bestseller of the week is Mecha's Managing Your Money. Newsweek magazine has announced the release of its new Newsweek Interactive, a CD-ROM version of the magazine. The CD-ROM edition will be a quarterly, published in conjunction with Software Toolworks. The disc will come bundled with the new Sony multimedia CD-ROM player. And finally, computer simulation games may soon be getting better. Evans and Sutherland, a company that specializes in military flight training simulators for the Pentagon, has just signed a deal with a Japanese game developer to use its three-dimensional graphics technology in a new game software. A little bit of the peace dividend for the PC. That's it for this week's Computer Chronicles. I'm Janelle Stelson.
Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by the Software Publishers Association, providers of educational materials to help manage software. Don't copy that floppy.